No one wants to be a refugee. You have to flee your country. You have to learn new language. You have to make a living in a new culture. It's a way of escaping, so it's not a choice. Usually it is due to war or persecution or hardship. I grew up in Baghdad. Iraq is a family-oriented culture, and we celebrate together and we enjoy Easter together, Christmas together. But the hardship is the changing of the government. Saddam became the president of Iraq. He's a man who lacks glory, and that is one of his weaknesses, and the people pay the price because if you stand against him, you'll be killed. In 1980, with Ayatollah in Iran, there was a great animosity between the leaders of Iran and Saddam Hussein, and started a war between the two nations that lasted 8 years and more than 1 million killed. Also in 1980, Israel also bombed the nuclear facilities in Baghdad suburb. You see a lot of bombing. You're living in a police state. Anyone who is, against the government can be killed. The family saw that it's better that I'll flee and be alive than be around and dead or injured or not hearing from me as a POW in the war with Iran. When you flee Iraq, you're never gonna say to them, I'm fleeing. You just say, I'm gonna go for tourism. The scariest thing was to go to the military office and get the permission to leave the country. And that was the hardest thing because I was age 18 and I'm to be drafted, and the officer did not see that. He signed off and he gave me the paper. I was like very happy, and then all of a sudden he said, come back. And I'm like, oh, well, he caught it. He thought about it and he caught me. He said, I forgot to stamp your passport. So let me stamp it for you, otherwise you cannot leave. I had great sadness. The night before fleeing, I was praying to the Lord that to interfere in my life, questioning God and questioning His purpose, and then also praying for protection because I'm scared. All these things came crashing on me. For 18 years old, it's a bit too much to cope with. To say goodbye to everybody in the family, it's not an easy thing. I saw my dad crying in the street as the bus moved. My dad saved $3,333.33. Basically, that is the maximum allowable for someone to leave the country with that kind of money. So he gave me all what he had. February 2nd in 1982. It's cold and they stopped us in checkpoints and they bring us each one to a room. In this room, there is an officer sitting down and he would open the passport and looks at you and he goes, what's your name? Where are you going? He wants to see how's your reaction. And if he senses that you are fleeing, then he can say, aha, you got caught. There were also a few other fleeing with me at the same time, but we don't talk to each other. We don't know if there is somebody informer among us. He said, many of you here are fleeing, but you have your papers and I cannot do anything about it. When we exited the Iraqi border, the other guys that they were fleeing, they started clapping. I was still stunned and scared, so I didn't react. The bus can drive back, and I'm not sure if I would celebrate. When we were in Jordan at the airport, getting into that plane, that's when I realized that I have escaped. My visa is to Rome. So in Rome, my spiritual journey is a new start for me. I start really exploring what I was thinking the night before I left. It's like, okay, God, I know you're there, but how to find you, what is the purpose of life, how to have peace. But the gospel was shared with us at a Bible study, and I said, okay, that is the answer for my question that I have in my life. President Reagan issued an executive order toward helping refugees. So in 7 months, I made it to America.
You can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go to live in Germany or Turkey or Japan, but you cannot become a German, a Turk, or Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American.
February 18, 2007, I became the pastor of the Arabic church that I was attending since 1984. Arabic church is basically people who are like me, refugees and immigrants. People can find their language, their culture. We are for those, the newcomers, help them, encourage them, bless them spiritually, so that I might see the grace of God as I saw the grace of God. So I started World Refugee Care in 2013. The reason why we started is to be next to the refugees, and as God helped me, I want to be the same help to others. I know America cannot take everybody. If America opened the border, 300 million people will move here, but also at the same time, there's room for societies to accept those who are in harm's way, to help them make it to our nation. And to have mercy is good for the nation, because God will bless the nation that have mercy on others. He will have mercy on it as well.